I'll be with you shortly. Okay, good morning. Good morning, Europe. I hope you're well. It is the 25th of September, 2025, 25/9/25, and the markets will open in approximately, well, let's see, by my recollection, by my, let's see if I can get the words out, by my assessment, in 50 seconds. What the fuck was that? Um, I'm going through a little bit of an issue this morning. In my morning exercise, I don't normally exercise with music on, but today I decided to, because I try not to move the dopamine needle. I just want to, you know, music does have an ability to, psych you up, and I was trying to do it without. Anyway, today I decided I wanted to, and I got to listen to this song, and you'll know it. Da 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 da. Highway to the danger something. Na 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 na. Danger ground. And I cannot shake it. It's just there. And I'm walking around my house going na 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 na. Highway to the danger zone. Na na na. So now you have it. So screw you, Tom HOUGAARD. Could have been without that. Divergent should be up and running. Everything should be up and running. Na, 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 na. Kenny Logan. It's a banger. Yes, it is, Ras. It is an absolute banger, and it is just, it sort of gets you, get out of my head. So rather than just, containing it within myself, now you get the joy of Kenny Logan's Highway to the whatever it is. Anyway, a word about my short positions. I woke up quite a few hours ago, and I was thinking, I don't really think I should have gotten out of that short position. So I put it back on. I think we are in the throes of a deeper correction. This is based on my work on the 72-week cycle. Happy to show you here. Highway to the danger zone. Na, 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 na. There we go. Shut up. So here's the 72-week cycle. A bit of a crash course. 1 second. You know what could be worse than me singing Highway to the Danger Zone? It could be karaoke Andy doing Highway to the... Because, he would get you all singing. Don't ever go to a karaoke bar with Karaoke Andy. So there we go, counting from this high here over to this current one. Do you see what you need to do is you need to keep an eye on that counter over here as I place it in the current week, and you'll see it says 72 weeks. So there you go, 72-week cycle in effect. So we're coming up to a first bar negative buy signal in the FTSE, so please stand by. We may just reduce that from 100 to. So stand by. Was that the test? 92.17, 92, 17.3, 92, 17.3. There's an exact double bottom. Ugh. Come on. See if I can get an opportunity. Here we go. I'm along the FTSE. So I'm along the FTSE at 92.16. 0.9. I don't know if you noticed this, but yesterday the first buy negative did not work. I'll show you. Look at this. First buy negative triggered at 92.10 and it went as low as 91.74. Lucky for me, I didn't trade it yesterday. But it's not looking particularly rosy either. Looks like a weak market. But you know, rules are rules. I have withdrawn the money that I made yesterday that took me up to having tenfolded. No, I wouldn't have tenfolded my account. I would have ninefolded my account, wouldn't I? Technically, when you go from 10 to 100, you don't tenfold your account, you ninefold your account. But it did take place outside hours, so. Someone is asking me, what is the significance of 72 weeks over, let's say 52 weeks? No idea, my friend. I've never done the 52 weeks. I don't think there is such a cycle as the 52-week cycle in the stock market. I know there is in the human cycle, the passing of the year, but not in the stock market. So quite a lot of aggressive selling right out of the gates in the DAX. The FTSE position is looking a little better. But we still have a big gap down. It's just you investigate these strategies and you have to execute them. I have made several videos about the 72-week cycle on YouTube. I'm sure you could find it there. Or I can try and find it. Okay, I found it. How do I get the link for this? Well, that profit in the FTSE was short-lived. I'm looking at the DAX on another screen thinking, oh my god, I would love to be able to find a short entry for this. But someone has asked me about the Nasdaq yesterday. So let's discuss and wanted to know about the school run yesterday. So this is the school run bar, and I think it triggers there. So the question then becomes, well, how do you factor in the overnight range? Is this taking place below the overnight range, above the overnight range, or inside the overnight range? It looks to me as if it's taking place inside the overnight range. So you have 1 negative bar, 2 negative bar. That technically means, according to the ante, that takes place inside the overnight range that you should sell short here. But say that you bought here, you would have a stop loss here, so you would have a stop loss of approximately 50 points in the Nasdaq. And if you had the mental fortitude, you would obviously have taken your loss here, and you would have lost this much. Oh, I can't draw a straight vertical line. Never mind. Give that a different color. And then you would have shorted it here, up here at the break, where that's to flip the switch. So it's a fairly straightforward procedure yesterday. So wacky, I can't see how it was a difficult. You get stopped out on one, depending on whether you went short or long here. But then, does the problem lie here, Wacky, that you struggled to flip the switch? Because it did work out. You're saying it didn't work out, but actually it did. Click shift button. All right. Oh, look at you, smarty pants. Saraf. Awesome. How do you trade the cycle turn personally? Well, I think you just look at what I'm doing here. I'm short. I mean, look at it. It's, you see my short positions. That's the whole purpose of this channel. Look. Really, you are entitled to ask whatever you want to entitle, but I'm showing you the way. I'm showing you what I'm doing. It's right here. No, I don't have a stop loss on a position like this. But then the size is really small, so it becomes a question of reading the market. I'll tell you what I'll do. I'm going to get my PowerPoint presentation for Frankfurt. I want to show you a couple of things. just going to reduce my size here in the FTSE. I am sensing this could turn into a bit of an educational session rather than anything else. So I just reduced some of this while I take you through something. I wonder if you can see this. 1 second. You can. Cool. Cool. Actually, I don't want to show you the entirety of the presentation because that would be a bit unfair. So it'll be something like this. Okay. So whilst I'm keeping an eye on the markets, I'm just going to take you through something here. So context here relevant, but okay. So this is a very brief talk about how did I come across the 72-week cycle. So it's a 72-week cycle. It's 2001, and this is roughly the Dow Jones chart that I'm looking at the time. And I'm drawing lines like any good technical analyst. You know, I'm drawing ratios from here to here and Fibonacci and extensions and la-di-da-di-da, and you know, as we all do. And then it occurs to me that I should try and do something different. So I begin to measure the distance in time from highs to lows and lows to highs. And I observe, I don't pay any attention to it immediately, but I observe that there's 72-week cycles, 72 weeks from this high to this high. Okay. Then I carry on drawing and I notice there's 72 weeks from this low to this low. Like, oh, well, that's a coincidence, you know, 72 and 72. Then I noticed that there's 72 weeks from this low to this high. I thought, well, that's strange. And I remember distinctly showing my compliance manager, because I was sat on the trading floor and the compliance manager was a guy called Jeff. And I just, look at this, Jeff. And he said, oh, surely it must be a coincidence. I said, yeah, maybe it is. And I carried on and so, okay, that's a lesser of a low there, but that's definitely a low. And then there's this high here, which was a double top down to the 9/11 low in September. And I thought, well, that's a lot of 72 weeks. Is that a coincidence? So I thought, okay, you know what? I'm gonna take a chance here and go, the next turn in the market, high or low, is gonna be approximately on the 10th of February, 2000 and I think it was 2002, obviously 2002, because that's 72 weeks from this low here. So I went on TV and I said, I think that the market is going to go up until the about the 10th of February 2002. And when an analyst goes on TV and says something like that, people pay attention. That's why I wrote a guru is born, because the joke here is that you get this right once and you'll forever be a guru. And people didn't understand why I could come up with these dates, and I sure as hell didn't tell them. That was my secret. And then the market came up to that date and it turned right there. And I thought, wow. So now it became well, what's the next turn? Well, I think it's going to be 10th of October 2002, because that's the next high to low. And at this point, the traders at City Index began to pay attention to this, and we began to trade very actively at this bear market low in 2002. And the company made a lot of money from this move here. We traded it on using options on our own book, but it was very lucrative. And then I sort of carried on with that. And I would begin to go on TV saying, I think the market is going to turn here, and it would be stupidly accurate. And then when on Bloomberg, I remember this because a lady called Sarah, and I said, I think the market's going to turn on the 17th of March 2004, and it did. Now you don't see the rest of the story here, but the Dow didn't supersede this high for the next 9 months. And so I made money from it, the company made money for it, everyone was happy. But the really big call that I made was this baby here. And that was the high in 2007 when the market turned. It was 72 weeks. But the one that made me personally very wealthy was this call here. Because down here, I bought ETFs, free X ETFs, and I rode this for a long time, and it made me very wealthy. And that was 72 weeks from high to low during the financial crisis. To the week. But the really big call that I made was this one here. This high here to this high here. At the time I didn't know it was going to be COVID. And yeah, then I go into some slides of how I, on the 25th of February, I had 700,000 Danish, and 2 days later, on the 27th, I had 7 million. So anyway, that's the story of the 72-week cycle. You thought I had a crystal ball, Juna. Well, no, sorry to disappoint you. No crystal ball, just, whatever. So that was a little lesson. It did take me out of the moment, though, I have to admit. Got a little distracted there. As I alluded to this morning, this is going to be my only session today, and it is going to be a short session. I'm not even sure that I can stay much longer because I do need to catch a flight, and it's quite a long flight for me. Have made some money this morning. I think the transaction, we'll see that I took some money out yesterday just to make sure that the balance was in line with what we are trading here. I should really just let this run, but I do have to go. What I'm afraid of is that I take a school run and then I'm stuck here for the next hour managing it, and I can't afford that time today, I'm afraid, ladies and gentlemen. So if you do decide to trade the school run, it's gonna have to be without me. I'm about 10 points in profit here in the FTSE on a first bar negative. Common sense would dictate that I just let it run, but I am going to take my profit and I'm going to leave my short positions in place, and then I will, let me just take a screenshot of this. And that will be the only trade from me this morning. So full transparency, obviously. Sorry, I just have to do this because it didn't post visibly in Telegram. There we go, that's better. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is going to be a shortened session on my part. As always, I do enjoy being able to communicate with you. But I am headed to Frankfurt to give a talk as a speaker on Friday, and I do have a fairly long flight ahead of it. So I think this morning just gives me an opportunity to maybe just to take it a little easy. Thank you for being here as always, and thank you. Someone just said, thank you, Tom. It's nice to know that I'm following a psychopath. So, yeah, sorry about that. So you won't hear from me for the rest of today, and not from tomorrow either. Although I may send you a photo from Frankfurt, maybe a selfie or something like that. I don't know. But before I go, thank you for being here. It's a pleasure to be able to share this stuff with you. So until then, we see each other again, which will be Monday. Look after yourself. Stay strong. Lots of love. Bye-bye for now.